Nadolsky, and this is my impact story. Yale College, 2018, Saybrook. Originally, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and my story for how I got to Yale begins during the summer before my senior year of high school. Initially, throughout high school, I had had my heart set on going to Stanford. I was really involved in FIRST robotics, and I wanted to pursue a career in engineering. However, during this summer, my mom, and a few friends of mine, decided to go on an Ivy League tour. We had never seen any of them before, so we figured, why not? And when we got to Yale, it felt completely different than anywhere I had been before. I had even visited Stanford at this point. It felt warm, and it felt like a family. And immediately I knew that is where I wanted to go. So when the application process came around, I applied to both Stanford and Yale. I got into both. And while it was hard to let go of my high school choice, Stanford, I knew Yale was the place that I wanted to be. Looking back at my decision to come to Yale, now, I do not regret my decision. Yale has impacted my life in so many different ways, some that I don't even fully comprehend. But being at Yale and in that environment, aside from just the critical thinking and learning on how to use opportunities and make connections and all of those soft skills, Yale empowered me to realize that I could make a difference on campus and beyond, that I could impact change, and I could promote equity and inclusion. During my junior year, I was the only undergraduate in wheelchair, and I said to my friend, why is there not a community for students with disabilities? Not just students in wheelchairs, but in general, all types of disabilities. And so we set out to create DeFi, Disability Empowerment for Yale, still on campus now. And when we created it, we got immediately to work. We said, how can we promote inclusion on campus? How can we make Yale a more open and accessible place for everybody? So one of the first things we decided to do was to help get American Sign Language passed as a foreign language credit. That would be taught by the university. Another thing we did was help get universal web accessibility to Yale. We held art displays / protests to block the Styles Morse walkway. It's not accessible, and we wanted people to understand that that can cause exclusion, especially during Bulldog days. If you have a student who's mobility impaired, they wouldn't be able to walk towards the Payne Whitney gym with the rest of their class. So what we did was we tried to, in any way we could, make Yale a more equitable place, a place where everyone has the same opportunity and a seat at the table. We weren't always successful, but we tried our best. And that really informed my understanding of advocacy and activism, and I took it forward with me as I continued my work. I joined Teach for America, hoping to provide students with the same opportunities, information, and resources that I had and gained while I was at Yale. I went to Nashville, Tennessee, and taught in a Title I public school, computer science and Latin. I created a FIRST robotics program, the very same type of program that had inspired me to want to pursue an academic career and go to Stanford and then eventually Yale. I hoped that this program would inspire my students in the same way and provide them with professional opportunities long before college. Fortunately, thanks to the resources and the friends that I made at Yale, I was able to garner us enough support and mentors to ensure that our team was able to win multiple awards during our first year and go to the World Championship. It was quite an achievement, and I'm very proud of my kids. Having completed my 2 years of Teach for America, I'm now on a gap year because of COVID, and I plan on attending the University of Pennsylvania School of Law in the fall. However, in the meantime, my role as an advocate continues. I've been working for the World Institute on Disability, specifically looking at gaps that people with disabilities face in disaster response, in transportation, and a variety of other areas of daily life. This work is especially relevant to our time, given climate change, COVID-19, and a variety of other disasters, at least an increasing number of disasters. By learning where the gaps are and by identifying the problems that people with disabilities face, we can share that information with stakeholders and advocate for resourcefulness in ways that we can improve the system and make it more inclusive and equitable for everybody. Ultimately, when I go to law school in the fall, my plan is to continue with this work and to pursue a legal career that is steeped in public service and advocacy for people with disabilities and anyone else that needs a seat at the table. Ultimately, the work never stops. Equity is critical, regardless of who you are, what your gender is, your sexual orientation, your race, ethnicity, ability, religion. We must always constantly push the dial forward and make our world a more inclusive place where everyone has an opportunity to succeed and live life however they want to live their life. Thank you.